1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Wes calling from Pullman, Washington.
Hi, Wes.
Pullman.
Pullman.
Pull.
Pull, like
the train.
Like the car.
like a train, right?
Yeah.
Pullman, Maryland, you said?
Washington State.
No, Washington.
Yeah. Maryland, Washington. They're right next to each other,
Oh,
I
in
think,
fact,
aren't
that's
they?
where Pullman cars are made, in Washington.
That's why they're called Pullmans.
That's why it's called Pullman, because William Pullman himself started the company
Yes.
in Washington
State.
I didn't know that.
Yes, where they grow the apples.
Is that all true? Or did I just make it up?
Apples are true.
Oh, the apples are true.
What's up, Wes?
The apple part was true. The apple part of the train story was true. Yeah, so what's up?
I have a 1979 Honda Accord, and a couple weeks ago, driving back from visiting my parents back to Pullman, I heard a strange noise in the back that frightened me, but went away and hasn't returned since. And I'm kind of worried that I'm going to be driving sometime and my wheel's going to fall off, and I will have known that I should have paid more attention to the noise.
What was the nature of this strange noise?
Well, first of all, how far away do your parents live, and where in the trip did this noise occur?
My parents live about 300 miles away from. I'm going to school in Pullman.
Oh, okay.
And this noise happened 60 miles away from my destination. So it was about 60 miles from Pullman when this...
So you had already driven 240 miles.
Yes.
Almost nonstop, or did you stop to take a haircut?
I think I had done that trip mostly nonstop up to that point.
Nonstop.
Okay. There you are. You're driving along at a nice, comfortable 60 miles an hour.
Yes.
On I-whatever.
90.
It wasn't I-90. To get to Pullman, you have to go on a state road, which is...
Oh, yeah,
even
State
more
Road
straight and more
27B.
Okay, but you were going at highway speed.
I was speeding going 60.
Speeding going 60.
And,
and you heard what?
And all of a sudden, it sounded like the left rear wheel suddenly bound up, and it caused the car to slow slightly, and it bound up and then popped. The binding stopped, and so the car then continued back up to 60, and it was a frightening thing. It just kind of bound up, popped, and then kept going. And then so I paused the CD player so I could stop listening to music and listen to the car, and I heard this kind of humming coming from the back of the car.
Really?
And I noticed as I started to do some turns that I would turn left and the humming would be louder. I'd turn to the right, the humming would go away.
Ah, good.
So I stopped. I got out of the car and I looked underneath the back, and my e-brake cables were intact, and nothing looked like it was spewing whatever.
Yeah.
Everything looked okay, and I just got back in the car and kept driving. I figured, okay, well, if it's going to die, it's going to die.
Now, when you say the car slowed down, did it swerve also?
No, I was driving, and it just kind of, it didn't slow down significantly. It was just noticeable that it slowed down.
Yeah, you felt some degradation.
You felt something drag.
Yes, you're right.
And for how long did you feel it dragging? A second?
Yeah, even less than that. It was just
Less than a
very
second.
sudden thing. So I kept driving, and maybe 15, 20 minutes later, a similar sound happened, and the humming was gone. Now, since then, I've driven maybe 400 miles, and this sound popping has not happened. Nothing has happened.
You've driven 400 total miles, but not extended miles, not 400 miles at a stretch.
Actually, yeah, I'm actually back at my parents' right now.
You are.
He's there to get money to fix it. And do laundry, right?
So I'm getting more and more worried because I'm driving more and more with this unexplained problem.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you what came to my mind. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but who knows? I mean, sometimes great ideas come from this, and maybe
from this mind.
Maybe I'll give my brother time to think of something good. But as you describe this problem, I always let my inner self, my inner child, deal with these problems that I don't understand. The inner mechanic has to deal with it. And what I felt, was a wheel bearing. And I've never heard of a wheel bearing doing this, mind you.
I admire the way my brother comes up with these answers, unencumbered by the thought process. He has these at the ready.
No, I'm telling you.
I mean, it's really wonderful.
I didn't tell you that I thought of
you did
this.
not allow yourself to be slowed down by thought.
I told you that I hadn't thought of this. I said I felt it.
No,
I felt it, man.
yeah.
I felt a wheel bearing bind up and unbind.
Oh, boop! Bind up.
Wait a
my
minute now.
foot.
At the end of this call, you're going to understand
Okay.
that this is the wheel bearing.
No, I'm fully prepared.
Okay?
I'm
In the
fully-
back. I'm talking about in the back.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I believe it's in the
You
back.
know, I never heard a wheel bearing do this, but ponder for a moment. He says also, turns to the left, all right, and the noise goes away. Unloading the bearing. Huh? There is some logic there.
So when I turn, I'm placing more pressure on the wheel depending on which way I turn.
Well, the only thing
Correct.
the only thing that I don't buy.
Yeah, well, I don't buy it either,
Yeah.
because if this were the case, it would have been wrecked halfway back to your parents'
Right.
house.
If this were that bad, exactly. Two things I don't buy. That is one of them. That the bearing would by now be making so much noise that you wouldn't be able to stand it. And also, I don't understand the loss of power. To me, the loss of power comes from a sticking brake.
You know, a bearing that binds up would cause a lot. That's why I was so careful to ask about how long it lasted.
Well,
Less than a second.
I originally thought that the handbrake would be sticking, except that you would have noticed it long before you had driven 200 miles.
Oh,
However,
see, that's what happens when you're encumbered by the thought process. Makes no sense.
no, however, a sticking wheel cylinder could cause the same problem.
Yeah.
It's if at some point you stepped on the brake and the wheel cylinder pushed the shoes out against the drum
Ooh, I like it. I like
and
it.
didn't release completely. Yeah, when you made that exit from the state highway, from the highway onto that little Mickey Mouse State Road, you have to have slowed down.
If I know how Wes drives, he never touched the brakes in the whole 300 miles.
But if
when
you
they flash the lights and say, "Hey, there's a cop coming up, slow down."
but if you did if you did touch the brakes,
Yeah.
then in fact that could explain it all. Now, whether my brother's right, which is extremely unlikely.
Oh, no, but wait,
Or not.
I don't like your answer. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like it either.
No,
but it's better
because
than yours.
because if the wheel cylinder hung up, why would he suddenly, for a second, feel the car slow down? The car would have been slowing down all the time that the cylinder was hung up.
No, because it only slowed down. When he was stepping on the brake, he was slowing it down, and then when he took his foot off the brake, it stayed on. It heated up enough from the increased friction to expand everything and cause the thing to lock up for a second, and then it freed up. Everything snapped free.
This is called
Just-
instant theory.
Just a guess. But the important thing is that you get it checked.
Okay.
And the next time before you take a trip, have somebody pull off the two rear drums, check the shoes, check the cylinders to make sure they're free and not leaking, and to check also the action and the freedom of the emergency brake cables.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the wheel bearings.
Right.
The wheel bearing.
Have it looked at. It may be nothing at all, but it's probably something.
Yeah.
Things like this don't happen for no reason.
Right. You must pay attention to coincidences according
And
to the
while the
Philistine
car is up
props.
in the air, have them also, I mean, I hate to think, but a 1979 Accord could easily have enough rust problems back there that you could have a control arm pulling away from the body. And if that were the case, that could apply the emergency brake for you.
And that would not be fun at 60 miles an hour.
So get it looked at.
Okay.
Good luck,
Thanks
Wes.
for calling, Wes.
Thank you.
Wes,
Bye-bye.
Wes.
I said Wes.
Oh, I thought you said less.
Wes. I got it. I got it written down.
Oh, okay. 1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
I thought that was pretty good.
Boy, that was bad.
It was bad, but it was good. But here's the one I really wanted to read for you. Hey, guys, I was on your show a couple of weeks ago. I actually remember this call. And I have to say, believe it or not, you actually saved my life. Now, isn't it true when you save someone's life, they are indebted to you forever? They
Well,
must come
you
and
know what that
serve-
means? That they'll never pay you if
Yeah.
they're indebted to you forever.
This, by the way, this guy's name is Wes Plate. Wes. You may remember, you'll remember this. I had a 79 Honda Accord that suffered a strange sound in the rear left wheel.
I remember.
Come back with me now. I had been driving across the state. I had gone 240 miles, had 60 miles to go to Pullman when my wheel bound up and I slowed slightly for a split second. The wheel popped and I continued on my way. I remember
And you
this-
came up with some harebrained, stupid thing.
About what? Yeah, you'll find out in a minute.
Emergency brakes or something.
No. You may remember suggesting that it was my wheel bearing. But then you said it couldn't be because by the time I spoke with you, I had driven another 400 miles and the car was still going and there was no horrible noise from the wheel. So it was suggested it was my brakes. Some harebrained idea about the cylinder not quite retreating and allowing the shoes to drag. Da, 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 da. Needless to say, 350 miles after talking to you, I got my car in to have it checked, and the results are included with this letter. The bearing. Good job. You felt it was a bearing, and you were right. And look what's attached to the letter. The actual wheel bearing.
Oh,
Pieces, man. Look at the thing.
all burned up.
Burned up exactly as we thought it would be. Look at that. The evidence.
I mean, this had to have been making noise for months. Who is this guy?
Wes Plate. He's
Get your
dead.
hearing checked, Wes.
Saved the guy's life.
Okay, time for a new puzzler. Go ahead.
This is from Rob Reber from Fort Mill, South Carolina. And I